What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. The PlayStation 2 is often considered one of the greatest consoles of all time. It has over 1,000 titles in its library, ranging from groundbreaking RPGs to some of the first open world games ever made. When Sony announced that they'd be bringing the best projects from this era to the PlayStation 4, obviously people were very excited. So this week, I'm counting down my favorites on my picks for the top 10 PS2 games you can play on PS4. Number 10. Red Faction. First-person shooters have always been one of the most important things for any game system. Stuff that's full of explosions, a sniper rifle that can see through walls, and fast-paced multiplayer is bound to be a hit. Red Faction managed to gain loads of attention for its extremely destructible environments. You can pick up a rocket launcher and shoot straight down to dig a hole or burn through a door if you want. This added the chance for some silly situations where you're literally blasting your enemies into the dirt. Nothing is more entertaining than watching these evil soldiers fight to survive on Mars among the ruined, burned out maps we've created. Number 9. Psychonauts. When it was originally released, this title was almost completely overlooked. Its bizarre, creepy graphic style and rather far-out setting seem to confuse people, but what they missed is pure gold. Psychonauts takes us on a magical adventure to a summer camp for kids with supernatural mental talents. Our hero Raz has run away from home to join these special children in hopes of becoming a psychic agent for the government, and yet, getting strong enough to do that is gonna take some work. We have to run around solving problems, doing quests, and breaking into fellow campers' inner minds. It's here that the project is truly amazing. Each world hides the buried secrets of that person and is formed around how they view things. The twisted landscapes and wacky gameplay is just perfect. Number 8. Siren. Which is more terrifying, losing your life or losing your soul to the darkness? This question is part of the major conflict happening in the cursed village of Siren. The citizens have had their bodies taken over by a powerful force, but what's really unnerving is they don't quite seem dead. While they do sort of move like zombies, these monsters will still talk, whispering messages that only the real guy could know. If you get too close in your attempt to understand their words, they'll quickly kill you. These creatures are servants to a horrible god that's been unleashed and now claims this island. We must find a way to defeat it and trap it once again, or this blight could spread, claiming more cities across the globe. Siren manages to be haunting in a very unique fashion by making combat nearly impossible. These things don't feel pain and they never stop, so your only course of action is to keep moving and end the madness. Number 7. Twisted Metal Black. There are few moments more fun than just driving around curves, firing missiles, and pushing people into traps in wonderful car-based battles. Twisted Metal is a franchise that essentially invented this genre of gameplay, and for years they remained the masters of it. In this early PS2 sequel, they wanted to make things bigger and better to blow their passionate fans away. Levels are crammed with nasty spots that can get you murdered instantly, the racers are all given extra screwed up backstories, and each vehicle has been custom designed to be as deadly as it can be. This combination of high speeds and rough carnage is absolutely beautiful. I spent hundreds of nights playing this with my friends just because we could never get enough of the simple yet eccentric chaos. Using boosts to steal items off the map, lining up shots to score another point over your rivals, and being rewarded with downright disturbing cutscenes is frankly crazy cool. Number 6. Destroy All Humans. I'm sure we've all seen some goofy invasion movie at some point and thought, I bet those aliens are having a great time zapping everyone with lasers. Destroy All Humans looks to prove that idea by setting us free in huge areas to nuke whatever's in sight. We play as tiny Martians given hyper-advanced technology and assigned the mission of taking over planet Earth in the 1950s. Because of the time period, you can expect to see some old-school trucks, bad haircuts, and some funny talking cops. None of these have the slightest chance of slowing you down though, especially when you unlock the ability to straight up cruise your ship through the streets. I have to admit that I never tried this when it came out back in the day. Experiencing this for the first time on modern hardware with cleaned up visuals was awesome. You really get to enjoy every wacky particle effect and dumb line being shotted by those fleeing. Number 5. Star Ocean Till the End of Time. It's pretty clear now that a major feature of the PlayStation 2 that made it such an overwhelming success is its stellar set of RPGs. Final Fantasy, Grandia, and of course Star Ocean were all able to use this new DVD format to build worlds never before believed possible. till the end of time blows away the competition when it comes to sheer size and scope. The journey we're about to embark upon spans across nations, solar systems, and maybe even beyond the limits of our reality, all in an effort to halt an escalating war. There's so much to love about Star Ocean, but what I enjoyed most about this one is the fighting system. Instead of just having turn-based combat like many other Japanese role-playing games, conflicts are handled dynamically. With this, even a tiny random match can feel like an epic struggle for cool loot, more levels, and to keep you coming back for more. Number 4. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. There's probably never been a series that created more nightmares than Resident Evil. The mix of realistic science and powerful monsters implants an impression that this gory action might come true someday. While previous entries were set in quiet American towns, Code Veronica transports us to a place where hope goes to die. Claire Redfield wakes up in a secret prison designed to hold enemies of the evil company Umbrella. Here they carry out unspeakable experiments on people, mutating them into mindless nut jobs searching for fresh men and women to eat. There's such an interesting sense of isolation woven into the heart of this story because our hero has nobody to depend on. It's just her, a couple bullets, and an insane warden whose job is to make sure no one leaves. This was the last Resident Evil we got before RE4 changed the franchise to being more centered on thrills than chills. That means that this is basically the pinnacle of retro horror mechanics, and I think it still remains the king of the genre. Number 3. Bully. The studio Rockstar may be renowned for their billion-dollar Grand Theft Auto games, but some of us have a soft spot for their simpler spin-off titles like Bully. School can occasionally suck. Teachers want you to do boring assignments, classmates can hassle you about the dumbest stuff, and you get detention just for messing with a slingshot. I suppose the only option is to take over the entire school by yourself and rule it with an iron fist. Our hero is obviously a hardcore bully, but one who believes that you just need someone nice in power to make things right. Missions center on earning respect from local clubs, running errands, and generally getting up to no good. What starts off as a near little tale about a boy causing trouble soon mounts up into an all-out war against the angry teenagers in the city. This gameplay functions so flawlessly because it 100% feels like a GTA, but with silly toys instead. You're not firing machine guns, just bottle rockets. You aren't stealing cars, just expensive bikes. There's a certain charm to enjoying a smaller adventure, but with the perfect controls and solid writing of a huge open-world project. Number 2. Dark Cloud 2. There are legends across history that tell stories of people trying to save the land from terrible disaster. What does it mean if your plot takes place after the world has already ended, though? Then you have a bit more of an intriguing problem on your hands. Dark Cloud 2 is all about dungeon crawling and reconstructing society. That might sound like a weird meshing of styles, but it really works. Some of the games in this video don't have top-notch graphics anymore because they aged a bit more roughly. You won't see that here, though, due to the developer's bold choice to have fluid, cel-shaded art. These living paintings add to the fantasy element of the story without making the serious moments seem cheapened. The bosses are still scary and the blood is still stunning, even more so when you're afraid of getting killed. Dark Cloud 2 can be rather difficult if you don't rip into each encounter delicately. There's a real weight to your decisions in battle that shines beyond all else. I found myself running back and forth in hard areas to build up my sword strength and to pray that it helped me make it past the next chapter. This title is so fantastic that it's definitely a must-play for any RPG fan. Number 1. The Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. Now, before anyone tries to rush to the comments and say that I'm cheating by putting a trilogy as one game, keep in mind that this is sold as one item and has been for nearly a decade. It's right there on the digital storefront, and there's even a physical version on my shelf. The Grand Theft Auto collection packages together perhaps the 3 primary games that made the PlayStation 2 take off. We have the cutting-edge GTA 3 set in a 90s New York, Vice City, which takes us to the neon streets of Florida in the 80s, and San Andreas that shows us the harsh struggles of gang life. All 3 of these projects are positively massive, filled with hundreds of activities to do. You could do stuff like take over nearby drug businesses, challenge people to races, or just get into shootouts with the cops. Going through these again on the PS4 was epic, not just because of the improved resolution and the lack of load times, but also because they included trophies. It's such a gleefully good time to go back and enjoy these classics with new achievements thrown in to let us prove who is the Lord of Mayhem. For its thousands of hours of fun, drastically different design systems, and neat cars, I am awarded this my pick as the best PS2 game you can play on PS4. Did your favorite game not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I gotta admit something. I had to film this entire video twice because for some reason, the first time I filmed this, the autofocus was picking up Cyber Ninja's face. So just for future reference camera, this is a robot, this is a dumb YouTuber. This is the guy you want to focus on, not this guy's awesome single laser beam eye. Freaking ridiculous. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top